Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Battle Brothers Season 3. As today we find ourselves back out in Tangval with our new drill sergeant in tow, and thus very eager to get back out in the field to put that new experience bonus to good use, and make some coin in the process as well, since we are a mite bit shy after said new hire. Let's see what we got. Oh, boo. Okay, just a parcel delivery. To Damwald. Okay, I mean, as per usual, not exactly the type of work we're looking for, but at some point we will be headed back to Damwald, so there's no harm in at least putting a pin in this one. Yeah, $250. We'll take it. That's like 1 day's payroll. Tangval is a bit out of the way, but, it's a nice option to have on the table, I suppose. For now, though, we'll definitely head for Agerstead instead. We do not currently have the coin to load up on trade goods, but hopefully they'll have a job there, which can help cover that difference. Okay, 2 skull and offing. What have we got? Oh, for goodness sake, come on, man. Also to Damwald. What are the odds? Alright, well, again, we'll put a pin in it. Oh, okay. Pays actually better on this one, too. Yeah, see, this one we're more likely to do, because Agerstead is at least right along the way. Unless, of course, we decide to start roughing it on our way south. Though I don't really see us being well enough supplied right now to take an extended wilderness excursion. Prices are better. Yeah, let's go ahead and clear house. Liquidate all our current loot, get ourselves out of the danger zone. I think our current big goal, aside from just loading up on trade goods and keeping an eye out for new potential high-end hires, is blacksmith and a wagon extension. The wagon extension we might wait on until I think there is an ambition for it. I'll have to double check that. If there is, then it might be worth waiting until we make that particular investment. We'll hold off on the pelts for now. No notable rumors. Nothing jumping out at me on recruits. So, on to Tonder, I guess. Let's go ahead and tag our injured back in, I see. Trip has fully healed. Welcome back, bud. We do need to hire a caravan hand at some point. We need at least one on hand just to proc that wagon extension event. Okay, well, this town has terrifying nightmares, which pretty much guarantees that 2 Skull is about Alps, who have been revamped since the last time I played. I'm not really sure where they landed, but I guess we'll find out. Torvald the Guildmaster sits at his desk. He sighs heavily. Damn peasants are going on about dream stealers this, dream stealers that. Seems like a mountain of shit on my shoulders these days. Or a mountain range, even. The man takes a seat and pours himself a mug of ale. He downs it quickly. Ugh, dream eaters this, stalkers of the night that. Bah, absolute rubbish. Well, the fools put together a chest of coin and are willing to give it out for some protection. I want you to stick around for a night or two and see if these supposed spirits are real, or we just got some tricksters on our hands. You interested? I think we are, but what's the pay? Rest assured, I'm offering you a fine prize for your work. 1,070 crowns when the contract is done. You got yourself a deal. Honestly, dangerous as it may be, this is pretty much a dream assignment, getting paid to unlock a new elixir. Which I believe is one that we actually really could make use of. Oh. You come into Tonder to find a white-bearded and eloquent elder helping a family with their ill child. To you, this sight isn't anything unusual. To Verlin the Anatomist, however, some great offense is at hand. So quick is his walk across the road to the elder that you jump in front of him, sensing that whatever it is he aims to do might reflect poorly on the RetconRaiders as a whole. Verlin stands up straight. Excuse me. This man is dispensing poor medical advice. He needs to be corrected. Mindful of the natives, you warn him that it can be unwise to try to wedge yourself in on local customs, of which an elder is almost assuredly the spear point of. He might be, and likely is, of even greater importance as well, such as overseeing the local militia. The Anatomist, however, is rather diligent about the task and seeks to weaponize his own knowledge, and use it, even if it tears the local politic apart. I mean, on the one hand I do like to keep the peace, but on the other, if it helps a sick child, I'm willing to make some waves. Also, I mean, we are running Anatomist, so might as well lean into that. Alright, Verlin, do your thing, but, if it goes bad, don't say I didn't try to warn you. Hey, okay. I guess things worked out. You think it over for a time and decide to let the Anatomist do as he pleases. Stepping aside, you turn to watch the goings-on, hoping that this won't be an event to tarnish the RetconRaider's name, any more than this quack already seems determined to do. Verlin sidles next to the old man, and they look at each other for a moment. And a few peasants stare over as well. The Anatomist pops a squat and asks the old man if he knows that the information he is giving out is incorrect. Surprisingly, the old man is receptive to the occasion, and the two sit and talk for a long while. Instead of being offended by some outsider's input, the townspeople are equally enthralled by any knowledge he might have. There's some disagreements about trivial matters, but Verlin himself is so warmed by the reception that he hand-waves them away and even lies and says those matters are still yet to be medically settled. By the time it's all over, the Anatomist hands off some notes to the old man, and the village in turn give him a bevy of treats and goods as thanks. Well, good on you, Verlin. Well done. I've got to say, that almost makes up for the giant pile of dead animals we first found you with. That was weird, man. And here we go. Assessing your map by a torchlight, you suddenly see a black shape bounding through the darkness. It is a mess of limbs cartwheeling over the earth, flailing forward with unseemly speed. It stalks as low as a snake, yet you hear the choking snarl of someone dying in their sleep. You order the men to arms. To those who are about to die. Oh, 5. Okay, that's not terrible, but we only have eyes on 1. The raiders grip their weapons nervously as figures flit and fade in the distant darkness. Arrow finally snaps off a shot, piercing a figure through, and suddenly, the company finds itself menaced on all sides by strange, gangly, inhuman figures. For better or worse, they now have the creature's attention. The Anatomists take in the scene, hands raised in warning, as they observe the threat. But then, one by one, the academics teeter and nod off, stumbling and then gasping back awake. The rest of the raiders shift restlessly. Was this the result the academics had hoped for? Who's to say? But finally, Breaking ranks, Drakiith rushes forward. And Warrior is unleashed. Oh man, they are actually tearing us up pretty quick here. A hurled javelin glances a creature's shoulder, and reality seems to ripple, the figures abruptly folding out of space only to reform seconds later in new positions. A defense mechanism, perhaps? Wiping at their blood-stained masks and shawls, the Anatomists signal. And the Raiders begin their assault in earnest. Interesting, so back when I played with the Alps, they would actually keep their distance. They would often teleport, 5-10 spaces out and basically play keep away. But they also wouldn't be so aggressive. They would put people to sleep, but they would only injure someone if they happened to begin their turn within range of an already sleeping target. But now they seem to double up. Now they stay close and act much more aggressively with those essentially what amount to auto hits, putting someone to sleep and then immediately ripping out a chunk of their health. Which honestly does make them significantly more dangerous than they used to be. Though also, I suppose, perhaps less frustrating to fight. You don't have to run all over the map trying to catch up. I wonder if you can still resist the sleep effect. Okay, see, there was no resistance roll there, so I do think it is now essentially automatic. Damage seems to be percentile based. Based off of max HP, most likely. And they do go after doggos, so I mean, I suppose the big viable tactic, as much as I hate to say it, would be to essentially just throw a bunch of dogs at them. Straying ever farther from the group, Drakiith lunges forward, finally landing a solid blow. His sword meets a creature's neck with oddly little resistance. Misty flesh and brittle bones readily giving way as its head sails free, its body crumpling to the ground like so much rumpled parchment. I should start making better use of rally for more efficient wake-up calls. Also, we should make sure we stay clustered so these things don't stray too far. I suppose that would actually be a downside to bringing a bunch of doggos. I think they do also set their distance, theoretically based off of the doggo's position. So if the dogs start straying out, you can't just call them back. Which in turn would potentially lead to what used to happen with the old Alp system. Alps, like 10, 15 spaces out, while you're forced to essentially chase them all over the map. I think hacking weapons do the most damage to these guys. That does seem to be the general trend we're seeing here with Drakiith. Yeah, we've got to be careful about whoever ends up on the edge of these formations. Keep an eye on total health levels. Make sure if anyone gets too low, we tuck them towards center. Targeting seems fairly basic. They generally seem to go for whatever's closest, or to spread their attention over multiple targets if they're equidistant. No, let's not stray any further out. Yeah, see, the satellite groups are causing them to stray further and further out. So we need to make sure we pull back every so often. Reel them back in. Could push towards the rock. Could fall back towards that more open terrain. Towards the rock it is. Warrior has spoken. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it did actually go for a more distant target first. Oh shoot, Berlin's getting pretty low. We need to pull him out. But yeah, see, with Drakiith and Annie, it definitely split its attention over two equally distant targets. Nice, nice. Oh boy, they're drawing us ever further outward. And fall back. That's not a bad strat. Step up, attack, withdraw. Pathfinder would make this way easier. Come on back, Burr. Yeah, in fact, let's take this opportunity to regroup. Give them less options of where to go once we land that next hit. Rassel's at 2/3. Oh, is that how much damage they do? 1/6 of your total health pool per nightmare? And reshuffle. Nice. Though they are definitely staying pretty focused on the southeast. Could just be RNG. Could be a deliberate attempt to focus on the most isolated targets. Oh, warrior. Oh gosh, Erie's getting into the danger zone too. Yes! Drakiith lunges forward, his blade flashing in another broad stroke. The slightest shunk of impact. And another papery corpse flutters to the snow. Oh shoot. Wait, so Rally doesn't work on dogs. Interesting. Wow, okay, so yeah, maybe the doggo strategy Oh, you know what? I'll bet that's deliberately meant to help balance the dog pack strategy. You know, much like the limits on dropped loot, that does feel a mite bit gamey, but I get why they would do it. Hang tight, Val. Might get a better shot once they've reshuffled. Pull Eerie back as well. That should be good. Oh, shoot. Well, that might be a problem. A whispery flutter. Two figures loom over Eerie. Bowman spins. An arrow loosed. One figure wisping out of existence. The other toppled. A ragged hole torn through its ephemeral form. Emboldened by the group's success, Annie rushes the next figure that draws near. A whirl of her flail, and bones crack like brittle twigs. A figure reduced to a pile of papery ruin. The last of the figures, tattered and torn, crouches behind a snow-crested rock. The raiders cautiously approach. Do these things have any semblance of self-preservation? Will it continue its assault? Or attempt to withdraw? Drakiith deigns not to find out, rushing towards it. Aha! As Drakiith draws near, the final alien form raises one hand. His lids growing heavy, his step slow and sluggish. He stumbles as weaponized somnambulation takes its toll. Still standing, but teetering. Wavering on 2 feet. Precarious balance somehow maintained, despite the sudden halt to his forward momentum. The rest of the raiders hold. Arrow taking careful aim. Rassel jabs Drakiith back awake. The flagellant violently shaking off the last semblances of sleep. Eyes alight on his potential prey. Breath held, bow drawn and poised. An arrow is loose, tearing through the last of the ragged figures, but this time it does not fade. The anatomist quickly recognizes its efforts to escape. A sharp whistle, a gesture of Rook's pike, and the raiders rush forth. Once again finding itself hounded, the beast waves its hands in dreamy motions. Drakiith and Annie stumble. And yet there are too many raiders for it to now fully halt. Snow churns neath armored boots as the raiders steadily move to surround the thing, cutting off its avenues of escape. And it ends. One last sweep of Drakiith's sword. The papery form crumbles. Like a bad dream, the Alp's influence fades away. My goodness, man. Drakiith. MVP. A level well earned. And that nets us our next elixir. The Night King's Draft. This draft, the result of intensive study into the so-called third eye of the Alp, allows whomever drinks it to see through the night as if it were day. Blurry vision and hallucinations are expected while the body acclimates. And that, of course, is a great get for any range-focused bro. Possibly Valen, but we'll see. We'll see what other prospects we potentially pick up as we head further south. And then aside from that, we also pulled a boatload of assorted Alp components. Very nice. Though these three, I think. Yes, the soul splinters, these are just glorified loot items. That's like 900 base, but 1200 easy if we can find a town with good purchase rates. The Alps lay in the grass, and though you know you saw them hurt, their flesh seems to have healed over, and they seem more slain by your resilience than any weapon. You take your sword to saw a head off, only to find the blade slides right through the skin, and the neck hole puckers closed. You stab the body a few times, twisting the blade to rend the flesh unmendable. Sinews slither briefly before coming to rest in the wound's hole. Not sure what to make of that, you shovel the head into a bag, and tell the men to make ready to return to Torvald the Guildmaster. Pretty creepy. Torvald the Guildmaster asks to see the Alp's remains. You take it out of the bag. The flesh has deflated, and you hold the head, more like a scalp than a skull. The townsman touches it with his finger, and the Alp skin twists away like snakeskin. He asks if they fought well. You shrug. Hardy creatures, to be certain, but I won't lose sleep over them. The man nods reluctantly. Right, well, here's your reward as promised. And throw that awful thing away. Yeah, I would, but, my employers might take exception to that. But, the important thing is we're taking it away. Sweet dreams. And yeah, pretty much done here. No point in waiting till morning. I guess we'll just head straight back. We'll go ahead and grab that parcel quest back in Agerstead, along with those pelts. Oh, we also had some level ups, and I think one or two particularly grievously injured. I guess just Verlin, really. Oh, wow. My goodness. And Annie continues to impress with those level up rolls. We'll take the max melee, we'll take the max melee defense, and then I guess, bump up morale, start pushing towards 60. I will say, though, the real bummer is that despite her solid rolls on these level ups, because of her lower starting base scores, she's still barely equal to the characters we have who are actually struggling. That's just the unfortunate reality of these cheaper recruits. They're cheaper, they just don't have the same long-term potential. But, as always, they're with us until the bitter end. Unless they have a career-ending injury. How about you, Drak? Oh, buddy. I mean, not as bad as it could have been. We will at least take that 2 in defense. Shore up your health. And then either initiative or fatigue. We'll go initiative. Push for that 100-point target. Yeah, I've mentioned it a few times, but I would like to ultimately give Overwhelm to as many characters as can reasonably wield it. Which also does really encourage me to potentially go Relentless. But it also does feel like Pathfinder just has more practical utility. Ooh, new one skull. That might be some quick and easy cash. Pelts are still the same price. What's the new gig? Caravan run. Also to Damwald. Oh, okay. Less than the parcel run. And the parcel run doesn't lock us to the road. We'll pass on that one. I don't see us coming back up here just for that. I was just hoping for a quick little, like, barbarian or brigand contract. Something to edge the local prices ever so slightly more in our favor. But since it seems like that's not happening, we'll go ahead and grab these pelts. Price is slightly rough. That's 20% above base. But resale prices, under the right circumstances, those can push as high as like 50, 60. Especially if we go all the way south, where furs are a rarity. So I would say, still worth the price. Doubly so if we end up with a trade goods ambition. I think otherwise we're pretty much done here, so we'll grab this contract. We'll hit Helvik and Oberfell. Oberfell? Oberberg. We'll hit Helvik and Oberberg on the way down to Damwald. And that will probably put us at a pretty good place to call it. Though, hopefully, obviously, it would be nice if we could pick another fight en route. Though I don't think enough time has passed to repopulate the stronghold along Glenmore Barrows. We just cleared that a few days ago. So we'll just stick to the road for now. Hopefully spy signs of trouble. We are seeing obvious signs of combat, just no fresh tracks to follow. And Oberberg. We'll grab that salt while we're here, and you know what? What's our resale price looking like? Not great. Yeah, we'll hold on to our stuff for now. We could turn a slight profit, but we're not hurting on cash, so no point in rushing it. We'll take the salt. That's like a 15% markup. Disown Noble. That would actually be a fun hire. We'll have to remember that one. Maybe swing back by once we've got more cash to spare. Back in Helvik. No notable rumors. No new contracts, so we'll just chill out for a moment. Just until dawn. And hit the market. Grab the trade goods. I think we had a couple of pelts we skipped last time. Oh, also a restock on bricks. Nice. Resale prices are getting slightly better, but still not where we want them. Yeah, we'll keep sitting on those for now. I guess if we don't find a fight by the time we hit Damwald, we'll push on a little further. Wow. Okay. Ulfert the steward welcomes you, and a few of his men hurry over to take the cargo. He claps you on the shoulder. I take it your journey went well. You spare him the details and ask for your pay. Ah, a sellsword as always. Erling, give this man what he deserves. Phrasing, bud. I will stab you. Alp trophy. That's not a bad get. Same with the direwolf mantle, though we're not in dire need of those just yet, so I think perhaps we'll hold off. The crafting costs would be a bit much for us right now. And yeah, we're still not messing with those unholds. Definitely not liquidating our loot. Ooh, here we go. I came here to pick up an heirloom from my late grandfather, just to get to know it has been stolen by marauding barbarians. They're said to loiter somewhere on the hills west of here, but I fear I'll never get it back. Good to know, but also way too vague to really act on. West covers a lot of ground. Right, so, we've still got some time left, so, let's head for where it all began. Let's push back towards Landstadt. I will say, it is weird we haven't seen more human enemies at this point. By now, I am used to having much more brigand and barbarian gear to play with. But we've been seeing a ton of creatures. Lots of undead camps, but no brigand camps or barbarian villages. Which on the one hand is good for us. Oh, hey. Oh, here we go. Thralls and Reavers. Looks like a pretty straightforward fight. One we could easily steamroll, but also a good opportunity to grab some tribal trinkets and potentially heavy throwers for Valen. Spying a group of savages lurking near the trade routes. The raiders move to intercept and do their civic duty. And as ever, despite clearly being outnumbered and outclassed, the savages gamely move to meet them, their lust for battle clearly outweighing any semblance of common sense. Bowman fires off a couple of quick shots, one finding its mark, piercing a barbarian's shoulder. Drakiith steps up, slashing at a barbarian wielding precious, heavy bronze axes. An ideal trophy, one that we will hopefully retrieve. Spying an enemy raising a javelin, Valen hurls two of his own. The enemy drops with a weltering gurgle. Here he steps up in his place, plunging his spear through the thigh of another. And he steps up, landing a solid blow. Verlin, still somewhat weakened by his encounter with the Alps, circles wide, warily watching a Reaver's axe. Random, however, is much less frugal. He lunges forward, battering his enemy with his wildly flailing club. And Rev tears down another. Axes flash, shields just barely turning aside their savage bite. Bowman takes aim, landing a glancing strike. Drakiith savages one of the lesser thralls, whilst Eerie drops another before spinning his spear, tearing the second to last ear with a bloody flourish. The rest of the raiders gamely step up. Battle lines drawn. And Verlin circles in from behind. Random savagely beats down one of the weaker foes. A prudent choice, thusly deprived of their lessers. The Reavers fall into disarray. One run through, internal organs pierced by pike and arrow. The other all but disemboweled by a sweep of Drakiith's blade. The last thrall falls on the north. And the final Reaver falls neath a flurry of blows. His head split asunder neath the fury of Annie's flail. Oh, no heavy throwing axes? Boo. But, you know, I guess all things considered, this actually still wasn't that bad. We got some trinkets, we got some javelins, and we are maxed out on inventory space, so, you know, perhaps we should consider expanding the cart sooner rather than later. Something to worry about once we can actually afford it, I suppose. Hey, Verlin. Wow, oh my goodness, look at that. He almost maxed out every roll. More of that, please. Though for now, I will happily take, let's say, the fatigue. That's something he's definitely been hurting on. We'll take fatigue and recover, that should really help out. And on we go. We'll finish the trek to Loundstat, though, if we encounter more enemies. We may have to cut it short. Would be nice to swing by Westerholz as well. That's an ideal place to pick up more potential range bros. Also, quality lumber. And welcome back to Loundstat. No notable rumors. We've got a 2-skull in offing. Killer on the run. Potential monk. Which is not the same one we looked at last time, because I scouted that one. Same with this peddler. Okay. We've got a few potential hires there, but I'll want to scout them first. Also a taxidermist. Warehouse fire. I think that actually boosts local demand. Or just all prices in general. Yeah, so we definitely don't want to buy bricks while we're here. But we can sell the stuff we're currently carrying for a huge profit. which of course we will immediately do. Really thought we'd be carrying this stuff further south, but we'd be fools to pass this up. Which does put us over 5,000. That's enough to expand our wagon. Though it would leave us running on fumes. So again, perhaps best to hold off on that, especially since we're clearing up a fair bit of space now. In fact, you know what? This does feel like a good place to call it. It's about that time anyway. We'll hit the pause button for now. I will take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, get a gander at some new potential recruits, consider where we're going to put some of this cash, and we will pick up here next time. Gotta say, good day. Took out our first Alps, got a fantastic new potion, made a ton of cash. Granted, almost lost Verlin in the process, but, you know, that's just life as a raider. He knew what he signed up for. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.